Okay, first question. How would you define religion?
How would I define religion?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a huge question right there. I think religion is what you make it. Religion for some people can be a very, very peaceful pursuit, a very helpful pursuit. So there's some folks who are religious who will work for personal development, spiritual development, community development, cohesiveness across ethnic divides and so on and so forth. There's some folks who use religion for that. There's some folks who use religion for hateful purposes, so to divide communities, to divide ethnicities. So religion, in my view, is what you make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from what you said,
Yes.
I'd like to tell you that the topic that I'm researching,
Yes.
it's basically a statement
Yes.
that I have to get opinions on and
Okay.
talk about. And the statement is, does religion unite or divide society?
Yes.
So I'm going to tell that to you right now to make it clear.
Okay.
Second question, can you name some positive effects of religion?
So some positive effects of religion would be, for an individual, personal development, personal enhancement, a realization of purpose, a realization that one has a greater purpose than just to be of themselves, by themselves. So it can be expansive in its nature, its impact.
Yep.
Some positive impacts can be there, and so as a result of the individual being improved, that individual will go on to have a desire to bless and be a blessing to others,
Okay.
be a benefit to others also, but not from a selfish point of view.
Yeah.
So there are folks who will give their time, volunteer their time, give of their skills from a religious point of view. So that can be some of the benefits.
Okay.
So and also the development of things like schools and hospitals and
Society.
just society in
Yeah.
general. Yeah.
Okay. Third question, can you name some negative effects of religion?
Some negative effects of religion can be it can be very narrow-minded and very introverted and very selfish. And so there's some folks who will say, well, my set of beliefs are the only set of beliefs.
Yeah.
And to the point where that will divide that individual or community from the rest of humanity. I think that our faith and our religion is meant to leave the world a better place than we found it. And so, to that extent, that's probably a good guide for me when I'm trying to work out whether what I'm doing is beneficial or not. If I can leave the world a better place than I found it, then I think we could avoid some of the negative kind of things that religion, negative impacts religion can have.
Speaking of the world, what kind of generalized impact do you think religion has on, let's say, a global or international scale?
It depends, because there's some individuals who will say that religion divides the community. It is a negative aspect of community. We should do away with religion. There's some other folks who will say, well no, because of religion or because of my faith, I'm able to do this and make this change. So I think it depends on who you speak to. But I think for a majority of, say, the media, if you talk about religion in the media, usually it's sort of tends to be towards a negative. But if you just listen to just a majority of the media, then you will come away with an impression that religion is somehow negative and so on and so forth. And that is not the case.
Okay. And do you think there are any truly non-violent religions? This is discluding, let's say, some isolated groups within those religions that may be a bit more extreme. So a religion in general, do you think it can be truly non-violent?
I think religion can be non-violent. Religion doesn't have to be violent. There are folks I know who are people of faith who will not resort to violence to promote their ends. The master in our faith, Jesus the Christ, didn't have to resort to religion in order to preach his message or for his message to get across. Indeed, he was the victim of violence. So as I said before, back to my original position there, religion can be what you make it. And so if you decide it's going to be filled with violence, then that's what it will be. If you decide it's not going to be that, it doesn't have to be that, then it's not.
Okay, speaking of Christianity, what about the Christian Crusades between the 11th and 13th centuries, where Christians essentially went around invading and conquering, basically?
I don't know enough about the Crusades to give a fully informed opinion about them, but I would say that if one wears a cross and if one says that they are representative of God and their actions don't follow that through, there's an inconsistency there.
Yeah.
And so I find it really difficult. I find it difficult to justify or to believe that those individuals who were involved in the Crusades, who went around taking the lives of others,
yeah,
who were of different religions, were actually Christians.
Okay.
They're probably, in my view, they're probably Christians in name only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you think religion is the cause of most of the conflict in the world? Why or why not?
Do I think that religion is the cause of most of the conflict in the world? Again, from an informed perspective, I don't know about all the conflicts in the world. I think a lot of the media is focusing on a number of religious conflicts, but I don't think those are the only conflicts that happen in the world. If there is, and this may be going into conspiracy theories, if there is an agenda to place religion out of the mainstream, let's put it in a negative light, then it serves a useful purpose to highlight religious wars and religious differences and so on and so forth. They have always been there. I think they will always be there. Though religion isn't the only cause of wars in the world.
Okay. So, thinking about all of your previous answers, do you think religion unites or divides society?
Yes. Both. It does both. Some years ago, for instance, I was part of a local project that was for a group of Christian young people, Muslim young people, and Buddhist young people. And what they had to do was to design a resource that could be used in schools that represented equally all three faiths. And so that was a challenge to be able to do that, for Christian young people, Buddhist young people, and Muslim young people to sit in the same room, speak about their faith freely, without feeling intimidated, without feeling like one is trying to convert the other, to be able to maintain their faith and share it in an equal space. That was a challenge, and I think it was worth the challenge to do that. There are some Christians, equally so. I can't speak for Muslims and my Buddhist brothers. I can't speak for them, but there are some Christians who would never go into that kind of arena. They would feel that it would somehow detract from. For myself, I don't share that view. I think it is very helpful and healing and necessary to have those kind of dialogues. I think we should be able to sit in the same room and agree and disagree and still allow each other space to live. Because at the end of the day, we are still breathing the same air.
Yeah.
We still have blood running through our veins. We still have to go to work.
Yeah.
And so my faith enables me to develop the capacity to listen, to hear, and to be heard. And I think that's the way forward. In sitting with my Muslim brothers and my Buddhist sisters and others too, my aim is not necessarily to convert them.
Yeah.
My aim is just to sit and be heard. And I think that kind of mindset goes towards developing a cohesive and a peaceful way of being.
Okay, thank you for your time. That's 10 minutes over,
Okay.
so I won't waste any more of your time.
No.
Thank you for the interview. You answered basically all the questions really well.
Honored to be able to do that.
It's an honour to interview you.
Good question.